Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Some of the most meaningful jewelry you own isn't new. It's inherited. A ring from a grandmother, a necklace full of memories, but no longer your style. Duke's Jewelers reimagines family heirlooms into custom pieces you'll actually wear and love. Working one-on-one, Duke's designers honor the original story while creating something fresh and modern. Don't let meaningful jewelry sit unused. Let it live on beautifully. Visit Duke's Jewelers in Springville or online at dukesjewelers.com, where old stories become new treasures.
The exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth is on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Marino to the front, they score! It's tapped in by Alexander Kerfoot, and the Mammoth are off and running here in L.A. Floating one into Cooley. He tries to dance in, and he scores! What a goal from Logan Cooley, and all of Hollywood can only stop and stare. Kerfoot drags, holding up traffic. Kerfoot shoots, and they score! Kerfoot's got a pair tonight, and it's 4-1.
You're locked into JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry here. JJ's out of town this week, and that means Sly Sylvester, former Pittsburgh Steeler, former Utah Ute. I couldn't tell you were a Ute by what you were wearing today. All red, all this time. Plus the sunglasses in a windowless studio, no problem. Sly's got you covered. We do have a guest we got to get to. You know why? Because he's on the road with the Mammoth, as he is wont to do. He is the radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth. He's Mike Folta. Mike, what's going on, man?
Oh, Alex, Sly, I'm good, guys. I did not even bring sunglasses, Sly, on this trip because we are here in the gloomy Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Vancouver, where the sun never shines until today. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Seattle, and we've got some Mammoth hockey later tonight.
Corey Hart would definitely frown at you.
Oh, well, listen, you gotta wear your sunglasses in the old hotel room. Mike, hey, my old stop. This is my place of growing up where you're at right now in Seattle. I'll actually be up there this weekend, so I'll miss.
How big of a name was Sean Kemp, by the way?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so. Help me. Let's get the Sonics back into Key Arena as quick as possible. I know it's not called Key Arena anymore, but like I walked. So my high school graduation, you walk at Key Arena, like so you're there, and you have all these banners up, you know. And Sean Kemp, when it comes to people who could throw down and posterize people, he was one of the best. Underrated. The guy flew. Dominique was like this. Mike, of course, had it, but it was like. They had this crazy, like, last-second power, just like it felt like it rocked the entire place. And so, yeah, you think about your GPs and your.
There's a mural we drove by just a little bit ago where it's on the side of Sean Kemp's cannabis store. Funny enough, and I'm like, how Seattle can you possibly?
I know.
And but it's this mural of Sean Kemp dunking, and prominently featured is Michael Jordan with like his mouth agape. Right. Like it's a mural of Sean Kemp, but like one of the first things you see after you see like the Seattle green and yellow is Michael Jordan, like his jaw on the floor. So it was kind of, I was like, isn't that a Bulls jersey? Oh, he's just in awe of Sean Kemp.
It is. He was phenomenal. He was tall too. So he had bounce and he was long. He was phenomenal. Anyway,
definitely on the Rushmore.
I'm excited. Normally I wouldn't go this long talking about it because there was no chance they were coming back. But I think that now because the vote is ongoing, expansion is almost like you just have to have $7 billion, Mike, to get into the NBA.
That's all.
As an expansion these days. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But that's all it takes. And I think Seattle has missed their Sonics, so hopefully they bring them back. Hey, you guys are up there. Obviously, the Kraken and the Mammoth tonight, a big one. I was texting a friend last night because I watched that Canucks-Avs game wire to wire last night, 8-6. It was phenomenal. It was just back and forth. And I text my buddy, I go, of course, Vancouver's putting some stuff together right now, right before the Mammoth come to town. Like this time of year, I don't care who you are. If you made some changes at the trade deadline and you're getting your guys on the ice, you want to get them all better. Everybody wants to beat everybody right now. There's nobody's taking a back seat, and that's why it scares the heck out of me.
Yeah, we see this every year, and it's not just hockey. I mean, it happens in other sports too, but especially in hockey. You get these teams that are unshackled from expectations, unshackled from the hope of playoffs even. And even the teams at the bottom of the barrel will play a loose and free game, and they'll dust up teams that are actually playing for something. And I was talking with Bear head coach Andre Tourigny about this maybe last week, and he hit the rewind button all the way back to, I think it was 2022 in Arizona, when the Coyotes were at the bottom of the league. I mean, like dead bottom of the league. And they're playing Nashville and Dallas in the last two games of the season. These are two teams that are scratching and clawing, trying to get every point they can for seeding. They were literally battling with each other for seeding in the playoffs. They had to win. And what do you know? The lowly Coyotes beat them twice. And the Coyotes kind of screwed themselves out of the first overall pick. Now, it ended up being okay because they take Logan Cooley, third overall that year. They probably would have taken him first overall that year anyway. But that was just an example from Bear's memory of, like this time of year, even the worst teams in the league can still win games against the teams that are playing for something.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's never over. There's other teams that are like, if we're tanking, we're full tanking. We know it's over. We're not even going to give it a chance. But that's a different case with hockey, especially these mentality of guys, especially guys that are losing teeth every night. They're just like, no nights off. No nights off.
No, for sure.
But you were in the building for that Crypto.com Arena LA Kings game the other week. It's 4 days it's been off. Of course, there's a lot to take from that. But how good did the boys look? And as for getting ready for tonight, how is that going to transition?
The boys look really good, and they look good in front of Will Ferrell too. Sly, he was allegedly in the building.
He's a big Kings guy. Is he minority owner or something, or is he just?
I think he just has glass seats.
Awesome.
And so we were getting texts that Will Ferrell was right next to our video staff, but no, they looked really good. And to be honest, the Kings did not look good Saturday night, but the Mammoth looked really good. And head coach Andre Tourigny and defenseman Nate Schmidt, they called it a blueprint game. And so you score 6 goals, you think, okay, the blueprint is offensively. Nope, they were talking about the way the Mammoth played in the defensive zone against the likes of superstars like Artemi Panarin and Anze Kopitar and some really good players that the Mammoth just totally shut down the other night in LA. Now, the problem, or what has been the problem, is that Utah has struggled a little bit coming off of big breaks. Mammoth are 0-3 this year. On 4 or more days of rest, coming off Christmas break, after the Olympics, things like that. So it'll be some work to do. There'll be some work to do to kind of get back into rhythm tonight against a Kraken team that is still holding on to hope. It's a slim hope, but they have a puncher's chance in what has been a turtle race in the Western Conference wildcard pursuit.
Yeah, and the Pacific Division especially is just a mishmash of who wants to win this week, and it's kind of interesting to watch all those back and forth with all those teams. Obviously, holding on to the wild card one for the Mammoth is the best shot for them to win some games in that first round, and possibly, although the Avs showed if you score 8 goals against them, you should be all right. So I was watching that game, and I'm watching all these teams, and you just see the intensity starts to pick up. The big names show up. How big of a deal will it be to get those first and second lines and those big names involved early? Because when those guys are scoring, it seems like it fires everybody else up too.
Yeah, it does. And our good friend Adrian Denny, who does our pregame, postgame intermission on the radio, he has this stat that he likes, and it's a team's record when this guy scores a goal. Oh, and for the Mammoth, it's like 17-1-0 or something like that when Clayton Keller scores a goal. And look, guys, I went to the Harvard of the Midwest, an accredited land grant university. I took a lot of stats classes, and I'm trying to tell Adrian, nobody on the team has a losing record when they score. Scoring goals helps your team win.
Of course.
Of course you have a winning record when you score. It helps you win. Nobody has a losing record. But it is, in Adrian's defense, it is hard to ignore the correlation between the team success and the individual success of guys like Keller and Schmaltz, especially those two. When those two have gone through downturns, like they did a little bit in November, and like they did even a little bit a few weeks ago, the team struggled as well. Now, this is, with the exception of the injury to Barrett Hayden, this is a pretty healthy Mammoth group. We saw Alexander Kerfoot chip in a couple goals on Saturday. And so I think you're seeing that depth scoring coming through more and more. But there is a pretty good correlation between the success of the big dogs and the team's wins and loss record.
Yeah, so what are you expecting from the Kraken tonight? We were talking about the end of the season and that race and how everybody's really neck and neck and fighting for these wild card positions and getting in. The Kraken with 9 games left, they're coming off of the 2 losses. Are you expecting them to be hyped and kind of making this happen? Of course, it's a home game for them, but what are you expecting out of the Kraken tonight?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the home aspect, Sly, because they had just been on a 6-game road trip, and it was like a 2-week trip too. So they're really excited to be back home. And look, it's a Kraken team that really, ever since they entered the league in 2021, they just haven't had that star power. They haven't had a Logan Cooley or a Dylan Gunther or somebody electric offensively. They've been missing that, so they've had to get it done by committee. And that can be hard to defend at times because there's not as many guys up front that you're circling and saying, we have to stop this guy. But it makes it harder for them to get going offensively. And we've seen that this year. They're the second worst team in the league since the Olympic break. Like they've really struggled the last couple months. Excuse me. But like I said, they're coming home after an extended break. They've gotten relatively decent goaltending for most of the year. And what's unique about Seattle is they have these defensemen, Brandon Montour, Vince Dunn, who are very active. So those guys can break down plays, break you down in the defensive zone, and they can make it easy for you to lose coverage. So the Mammoth have to be really good about keeping their wingers high and above those defensemen that like to wander, because that's how Seattle creates a lot of problems.
You have these teams that are just, a couple of points separate them in the Pacific, and in the wild card especially. The Mammoth have a 4-point lead with the same amount of games that they've played as the Los Angeles Kings. You feel all right about that, but when Macklin Celebrini brought the Sharks back last night, I was like, okay, I didn't want to have that added. Another team with 77 points. The Preds have 77. The Kings have 78. And everybody's just looking at Utah and trying to pick them off.
Right.
Of those teams, which one's the most likely? You've seen all these teams all year. Which one's the most likely that you look at and you're like, I'm the most scared of that team right now?
Yeah, it's a great question. Connor McDavid called the Pacific Division a pillow fight for a reason. Like none of these teams can get out of their own way. And that includes guys, the teams that are the top 3 in the Pacific, not just the wild card teams. That's a great question though, Alex, because I don't look at any of these teams as being better than the Utah Mammoth. I tell you what, though, a few teams below the cut line sit the Winnipeg Jets at 76 points.
I know
they are 2 teams, or they are 2 points out of the second wild card spot. Would be pretty hard for them to catch the Mammoth. They're 6 points back of Utah. It'd be hard for any of these teams to catch the Mammoth, but especially Winnipeg. But I tell you what. The Winnipeg Jets have the best goalie in the world, Connor Hellebuck. Won a gold medal with Team USA earlier this season, stealing the show against Team Canada in one of the best goaltending performances we've seen in recent memory. They're starting to figure it out a little bit. They've kind of been up and down, but they have points in 8 of their last 10. They've won 6 of their last 10. And if none of these other teams can figure it out, which has been the status quo throughout the year, like the Winnipeg Jets, who have won 2 in a row now, like they could easily be in that second wild card spot and pushing Utah. I don't think they would catch Utah, but pushing Utah and making the Mammoths sweat a little bit at the end of the year. So that's a team that you can't write off. Winnipeg, they were the best team in the regular season last year, guys.
Right.
And they went from best team in the regular season to a potential lottery team this year. And I don't think they're as bad as their record says they are. So that's a team I look at. Realistically, though, if you're just looking at the math, I mean, LA has the best chance simply because they're closest. I don't trust San Jose any further than I can throw them. Nashville is all these teams were like trading away players at the deadline, right? It's a very confusing year. So it would be hard for the Mammoth to give up that number one spot, but I say that really all it takes is one bad week, and all of a sudden you're right back in that pillow fight.
Is there a version of, I think that NHL teams get it's such a close matchup. I think people are afraid of the Avalanche because that's a rare exception to feeling like, okay, that team's going to run away with it. But there's no version of that because you have, I think it was the Jets a couple of years ago had, the best, they're one of the best teams and then they get upset in the first round. Like it doesn't really matter once the playoffs start. But as you look at it, if in the Pacific Division, is it just the number one team out of the Pacific who faces the wild card one? And if that's the case between the Ducks and the Oilers, which one do you want?
Yeah, it's so the first 2 rounds, it goes by the divisional seeding, and then actually the rules change once you get to the conference finals where home ice could flip based on who was better in the regular season. But the Mammoth, if they stay in wild card 1, they would play through the Pacific Division. They would be in that pod, basically, with those other 3 teams, which is right now Anaheim, Edmonton, and Vegas. We got some analytics from our friends over at SportLogic a couple days ago that told us that the Mammoth would be favored analytically. I don't know what the betting markets would say, but they would be favored analytically over Anaheim and Vegas, and it'd be close to 50-50 with Edmonton. It'd be close to 50-50 with all 3 of those teams, but pretty cool for Utah to be potentially favored in a playoff matchup. Speaking of betting, which I know you can't do in the state of Utah, but this was in some game notes that I saw. You actually can't even place a wager on the Mammoth to win that top wild card spot anymore. That's how confident the books are that Utah will be in that top wild card spot. Like you can't even.
I love it, but I hate it. I love it, but I hate it. It's all like we've seen meltdowns before across every sport. I don't care what sport it is. I've watched everybody blow it, and there are some people right now in the state of Utah that just feel like Utah teams can't have nice things. And I think the Mammoth are like, it's a hope that we have right now that we haven't had for a minute. And that for me is the part where I'm like, just hang on there. And let's say maybe they get to a second series and then who knows what happens after that. Maybe that's poor form, Mike, to be looking that forward, but I'll look at it like I'm a glass half full guy. That's what we're talking about.
As fans, we're allowed to. And look, the Anaheim Ducks are an extremely young team that the Mammoth have beaten as much as they've lost to. You take that matchup. You're fine with that. You feel like you can win that matchup. The Edmonton Oilers have been a mess goaltending wise. They are a little bit worn down, all the hockey they've played the last few years. Sure, they have the best player in the world, maybe the 2 best players in the world, but they haven't been very good defensively or goaltending wise. And the Vegas Golden Knights just fired their coach like 2 sleeps ago. So there are flaws to each of those 3 Pacific Division teams that you could something like that. I mean, I don't take a lot of naps, Sly. I don't know about you.
Well, I'm glad we talked about it because this is exactly where I wanted to go. I mean, let's go back to Vegas here. We're at Caesars, right? You just cashed in some chips. Is the Mammoth going to host a playoff game this year? In your opinion, is the Mammoth going to have one at Delta Center this year?
Oh yeah, I don't even think that's a hot take. I think for us to miss the playoffs would take. I mean, I don't even want to speak what that would take into existence. Like we are in a really good spot right now.
Good.
We're planning, like, on the radio side, like, we're planning for playoff hockey. Hey, what are our shows going to look like in the playoffs and stuff like that?
Oh, Sly just punched the purchase button after you said that.
I did. I'm telling you, that's what a lot of Utah Mammoth fans are talking about. We're talking about, like, Winnipeg Jets or Dark Horse.
Give me those tickets.
We've seen bad weeks, this and that. There's like, can we punch our ticket or what? Can I go to the store right after the show here and get me a new Mammoth jersey? Like, what's going to happen here?
Man. Hey, hurt people. Like, believe. Believe. It's okay. This isn't Toronto. This isn't Edmonton. This isn't one of those, like, really negative Canadian markets that thinks the sky is falling all the time. This is Utah. This is the land of opportunity. The Mammoth are here and they're dancing, baby.
This is life elevated here, folks.
So
life elevated. That's right.
You've got yourself a couple of big ones right in the Pacific Northwest coming up here tonight. Seattle Kraken. On Saturday, you're going to get the trip up to Vancouver, one of my favorite places on the planet. Also to be. These are awesome places. I'm jealous that you're up there, although I'll be in Seattle on this weekend as well, visiting some family. So we'll just miss each other, but I'll be watching hockey the whole time. Mike Folta, radio play-by-play of the Mammoth. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. Tuss up.
There you go.
Oh, that's a great tagline. I can't believe my wife hated on that tagline. I like that. Tusks up. Love that. I like to talk smack with tusks up.
When you go to a Jazz game and you see the tusks up in the rafters, you're like, just drop them on the midcourt. I just want to see. Maybe that could get some juju going on for the Jazz. They run out of the tusks one of these nights for the intros.
That'd be dope.
So, all right. Our conversations about hockey, of course, on these days brought to you by the good folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union. Growing stronger together. We'll come back. We have more around the corner. We got ourselves a couple things to jam on. One, an awesome clash between the Big 12 commissioner and maybe the most powerful man, the other most powerful man in Texas. We'll talk about it next.
Scrooge McDuck down in Texas.
Right around the corner, 97.5 BKSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jamming out to some Stevie Wonder there. This song, writing on the wall. There you go. Big no-no in radio. Don't care.
Nobody wants to hear your voice.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we got to have a karaoke.
I'm just trying to have fun here. Just trying to have fun here, all right?
It's the month of April. Why not?
I've always said the month of April for karaoke is the best. There's no other one, okay? All right, here's what we have. I've got in front of me our winner of this week's Beehive Meals Hero of the Week program. We've told you about this. We do this every week. KSL Sports and Beehive Meals get together. We honor people that impact the youth sports in our communities. You go to kslsports.com/contests and you get yourself a nomination opened up for somebody. And every Thursday we read those winners off. That's today. And then Beehive Meals, of course, hooks them up with $250 of Beehive Meals as well. Not bad. The nominator this week is Wendy and I, and the winner is Nathalie Lessa. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Nathalie Lessa. Nathalie serves our Timpview High School football program year-round, coordinating team dinners, service projects. See, I love this stuff. Guest speakers, community partnerships that directly support the development of our student athletes. She works closely with the head football coach and the athletic administration, deeply inclusive in her approach with engaging parents, supporting all levels of the program, creating opportunities of families to be involved. She's made a priority and personally knows every player in the football program, building genuine relationships with over 100 student athletes. Her impact extends beyond football. Nathalie is pleasant, optimistic, service-driven, and inclusive. Her dedication, leadership, and selfless commitment make her an invaluable part of the Timpview athletic community. That's phenomenal. There's always somebody that's making those wheels turn. And people like Nathalie Lessa, who won this week's Beehive Meals Hero of the Week, we love being able to honor those folks. So she'll get a shout out on our social media pages, and she'll get $250 to Beehive Meals. So congratulations. And thank you, Wendy and I, for the nomination as well. You can do this yourself. Go to kslsports.com/contests, and you can nominate somebody right there for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Hey, now, this is fun. If this is what you meant about college football, quote unquote, being in April, spring ball, man. Okay. This counts
roll
as
up the sleeves, baby. Let's get in the ring.
I will say this. This counts as entertaining. This counts as a little bit of drama. I like it. Brett Yormark. I think Brett's middle name is, he's got a little bit of trouble. He's trouble. He likes to fire it up. He's a ball of energy. He's 5'0" 100 and nothing, as they say in Rudy.
Don't tell him that.
I know. He is an absolute spark plug. Now, arguably the biggest donor for any program in the entire country, and in terms of, it's not just the donations. It's also that he is the chairperson of of Texas Tech University system. And so he's the chair at a school. He played there. He has billions of oil dollars, and he is making an impact. This guy, single-handedly with his donations and the firing up of his other friends to get involved too, former alumni.
The Big 12 conference last year.
They are a force to be reckoned with. Make no mistake about it, Texas Tech will keep this thing going for a while because they have, by the way, Joey McGuire he's a great coach. Mm-hmm. And I think that they have everything going for them. Monetary support, a place that just keeps growing. They have famous alumni that are in the league. That is a huge thing for them. Plus, they have the money to be able to pay. So, all that being said, Cody Campbell's more than just a booster, which I think sometimes what Brett Yormark might see him as, and a lot of people do. But because he's the chairperson of the Board of Regents for Texas Tech, that's not insignificant. And so when he got on Twitter and the Big 12 had mentioned that the game between Houston and Texas Tech, I think it was going to be played in Lubbock, right, Annapolis? Isn't that where it was going to be played in Lubbock?
Yes.
For this year, they are considering and are likely going to move it to a Friday night game. Now, why is that? Because Brett Yormark is a businessman first. He's no respecter of
other communal things.
He's not trying to shoot anybody down. He's not trying. You know what he does? He shows up at the meeting and goes, we get 64% better ratings on television and thus more exposure if we're playing games on Friday night. That separates us from other conferences. And heaven knows we need to be separated from other conferences. So that's what their plan was to do. And Texas Tech and Iowa State were the only two teams last year in the Big 12 who did not play in a Friday game. And so the Big 12 puts a premium on those Friday night games. So when he said you cannot do it, so here's the actual tweet that fired people up. Friday night lights are sacred in the great state of Texas. This is Cody Campbell. It is absolutely absurd that the Big 12 Conference and Fox Sports would consider scheduling Texas Tech football and Houston football on a Friday night on October 18th. I know that Brett Yormark's not a native Texan, shot across the bow, but he's been around long enough. Let me get the full tweet here that he should know better. So, a couple things going on here. Here's the biggest part of this tweet. And Cody Campbell nailed it. He can push and shove all he wants. But he mentioned two things. The Big 12 Conference.
You're not a native Texan.
No, the native Texan part just is to kind of grind it in.
Yeah, that was a shot.
That was just a little bit of an
insult.
insult.
Was a shot.
I don't think you're familiar with how we do things around here. Let me just educate you a little bit on something. Like that is the vibe, right?
Oh yeah.
Looks like the city boy over here. It's a Buddy Garrity move. I don't think anybody's really explained this to you, Brett. I mean, you're from the city, so this stuff's made in New York City. Remember the old Pace Pecani commercials?
I just love how that could really be your accent.
Oh, yeah.
Like you own that. Like you could really make
I lived too long in the state of Texas not to pick it up a little bit. And I use it as if I want to sound official as a high school commentator, I will turn the Texas thing on. But what the most important thing in this whole tweet was he said, I think it's crazy the Big 12 and Fox Sports would consider scheduling Texas Tech and Houston on a Friday. You really wonder, Cody Campbell, would you take a massive pay cut because of Texas high school football that, by the way, you're not associated with? It's just fun, and it's darn important out here.
And we all saw the movie.
I get it. I've been through Odessa and Midland. I've been through Lubbock. There's not a lot going on out there. And you're right, the city's shut down for Texas high school football. Great. But the country kind of shuts down for college football, right? So don't do this thing where you're like, Texas is different than everybody else. We don't need to play a Friday game. They've been avoiding it. And everybody else has to play these Friday games. And I'll tell you right now, coaches don't love them. They don't love them. You got a short week, typically to prep, and against a big-time opponent like Houston's going to be good next year again. So I see why they're both putting their elbows out. You know what I'm saying? Like
both Texas teams.
I know that they're both not. I know Cody Campbell and Brett Yormark, and Brett Yormark just said plainly right after that, Cody Campbell, quote, Cody Campbell does not run the Big 12. That's it. And that's all he needs to say. He told that to the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. So there you go.
I mean, yeah, and that's why you hired Brett Yormark, right? To look out for the Big 12, to make them have the ultimate spotlight and get more viewerships and get more money, and that's exactly what he's doing. Of course, the numbers say it. We do better on Friday nights. Texas Tech, you just won the Big 12 the last year. Let's put you against a quality opponent on Friday night. It makes sense. Now, the high school football aspect, I mean, everybody who knows anything about Texas understands that football is life.
I get it.
Right?
I remember going to my older brother's games and shutting it down. We moved by the time it was time for me to play varsity high school football in the state of Texas. We'd already moved to Seattle, which, by the way, they did not
do it the same.
It was not at a premium as much as the other ones, and so. When that happened, they shut the town down, and you traveled. You met in the parking lot at the Walmart, and you had a train of people following all the way to the next town.
It's a real thing, folks.
It's real.
It's not just the movies.
And it is phenomenal. But guess what? Anybody who knows, and if you're playing a game and Texas Tech is playing and your kid's on that team, you don't care about high school football that weekend. I get it. Texas is special, but not so special that you have to take revenue away from the conference. And Fox, they won't let that happen. And then not too special to be able to say other teams have to play Fridays, but not you guys because you're in the state of Texas. That's not the way to do it.
Here's the thing: does Cody Campbell, is he validated from being able to speak on the behalf of other Texans? He
has more power than most people do. Big time donors aren't regents of the university that they're donating to.
Right.
And so that's the difference. Napolis, you look like you're pissed about something. You gonna stand up for Cody Campbell?
No, but Cody Campbell has fired back.
Oh, we have an update.
Oh, please read it off like the traffic reports.
I can't wait. I'm drooling at the mouth for this stuff because then.
See, it's April, baby. News.
This is not.
Let's go.
This is not part of April. This is desperation. We wouldn't even be talking about this if there were actual football games being played this weekend. All right, what was the response?
Cody Campbell has tweeted, apparently Brett didn't get the memo. In all caps, everything runs through Lubbock. Maybe we should bring the tortillas back.
Oh, shut it down.
I
try to cancel our tortillas down here. Oh, okay. I love it.
Everything runs through Lubbock is
talk smack. Everybody wants
hilarious.
the MVP race in the NBA.
It's
Everybody
hilarious.
talking smack and standing up for themselves.
Look, I get it.
Stand on business, Campbell.
I get it. They just won the Big 12 championship, right? And everybody knows they're kind of the standard right now of recruiting people from other schools to be able to play at your school and paying them millions of dollars. I get it. They're playing the game and they're doing it well.
They have a multi-million-dollar backup quarterback.
I do love the threat. Yormark's just like, bring it on. It's more revenue for us. We're just going to keep it coming. Throw your tortillas. It's like a $250,000 fine on the second offense of tortilla throwing.
He'll pay it.
It's not, of course, it's not about whether or not he got the memo. Cody Campbell is a businessman. He really does know what the reality is. That college football's partner is not the community that they're in. Hate to break it to you. College football's real partner are the television networks.
It's for him to actually call out Fox at the same time.
I can't believe that Fox would do this. You really can't? They're out to make money.
You think they care about your feelings, Cody?
You didn't want to take a haircut on some deals, I bet. You made exactly the amount of money that you knew was out there, and this is what Fox is doing. And from an exposure standpoint, it's also no brainer. You get more exposure on a Friday night.
I love it.
All right.
I love it. I want more drama before the season starts. I hope he carries in the training camp.
I'm going to hit refresh on this tweet chain for the next hour and a half.
Oh, yeah. Because
right.
Brett ain't going to give it. He ain't going to stop.
Look, I am fascinated with what Mr. Yormark is going to do in response, because it's going to be some reference to the tortillas again, and maybe it'll be a little cute response. Like these guys don't play. They don't play nice if they don't have to. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got a top 10 next. Don't miss it. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Just top.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
The Honda Spring Event. Bring on the fun with a Honda Hybrid. Now's the time to check out the Honda CR-V Hybrid, Accord Hybrid, or Civic Hybrid from the 2025 Kelley Blue Book Best Performance Brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.49% APR on a 2026 Civic Hybrid, or a 2026 Accord Hybrid, or a 2.99% APR on a 2026 CR-V Hybrid.
See dealer for financing details. Based on 2025 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kpp.com for more information.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I've seen Tears for Fears in person. They were at the tail end of their heyday. Still love me some Tears for Fears, though. That's one of those bands that my older siblings influenced me on. Listened to a lot of Depeche Mode, a lot of Erasure, a lot of Tears for Fears. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You had a wild childhood.
My 80s emo music. This isn't emo.
Emo music? This ain't emo.
No. I know, but Depeche Mode could get a little bit
dark.
Yeah, I mean, anyway. I think it was just dark in my sister's room. That's what it was. She's the emo. Sorry. Not Depeche Mode. She was. Love you.
Don't spend a lot of time with your sisters.
Okay. I've got in front of me, because we were just talking about money and alumni and richest, people that have the most.
I just need a little bit.
Just give me just a tiny bit of that, would you? I have in front of me, across all the universities of this fine land of ours, these are here in the U.S., not that you would know any universities outside of the U.S. that have this. Universities ranked by the ultra wealthiest alumni, top 10 schools.
What do you mean, alumni?
So like the most very, very, very rich people.
Not like donating to the school. They're just net worth.
Yes,
of the
that's right.
Is
so which is of
Stanford
course
tops the list. I know it.
You have to get the timer out. If you don't blow your answers on.
I'm not blowing. I'm
Annapolis,
I'm
you ready?
Time. You're the one slowing
down. Hit the old
down
timer.
here.
Let's go. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Stanford.
Ding.
Texas. Ohio State.
Wait, did you say Texas?
Texas. Ohio State. Notre Dame. Alabama.
Hang out more.
UCLA.
Harvard.
Ding.
UCLA.
Hang out more in that vibe. UCLA.
UCLA's not on the list?
USC.
UNLV.
UNLV. Come on.
UMass.
Oh, hold on. No, but there is a mass, but what is it?
A mass? Other than UMass?
You got to be more along the lines of Harvard, my guy.
Penn.
Ding.
Columbia.
Dartmouth.
Ding.
Dartmouth.
Hold on. Dartmouth.
Cornell.
Colgate.
Brown.
Cornell. Colgate.
Booth.
Did you say Brown?
Booth.
Nope.
Tennessee. Florida.
Yale.
North Carolina.
Ding for Yale.
North Carolina.
Okay, there are only on this top 10.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was a sports show. I thought you were going to talk about, like, sports
they have
universities.
It's all the Ivies.
They have sports.
Yeah, we stay in the Ivy League.
What was I supposed to do? Take them off the list? I'm not going to count the Ivy Leagues because they're... Come on. All right. In the top 10, there are only 2 Power 4 universities represented.
That should have been a disclaimer.
And it doesn't mean that they would be successful at football at all. Northwestern is number 6 on the list.
Wow.
Go Wildcats.
Wow.
And number 10 on the list, just sneaking in, Cal. There you go.
Berkeley?
Oh, yeah. One of the best
But you said
public
Stanford
institutions
is
in
on
the-
that list, right?
Stanford's number 3. Yes, you got it. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. When we return, Eric Sparapolos covers the Jazz for NBA.com. He'll join us next, give us some insight into the last 5 games of this Jazz season. Stay here, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Just top.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.